what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you.
The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
All right, welcome back this week to The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. We are live here on air at the wonderful Purple Heart Homes studio, where they're doing the work over there in the factories, and we are bringing it to you live here with the wonderful Joe Berg. He's had some technical difficulties, but he's shaking his head and he's doing great over there. So hopefully we'll be coming into you real clean and clear. You guys, if you have any questions, I'm gonna have our Facebook feed or WSIC's Facebook feed up here shortly. You know, you can tune in on their app, WSIC's app, as well as X, Twitter, all their other social media platforms. But we'll be on Facebook Live, so you can see us there and send us some texts and ask some questions. Your host is not Sheriff Darren Campbell. Seems like I say that every time I'm here, because when I'm here, the sheriff's not here. So
yeah.
that's where I end up. So I had a little more notice about coming here today, though, because he has been on the Hill, the big hill, the Capitol Hill.
He's been in Washington.
Yes, he's been in Washington, D.C., so I believe he's making that journey home today, so safe travel, Sheriff. Get back here, and we've been missing the office and handling business, so we're here at the radio for you today, and brought my good friend Shawn Rowe. Shawn Rowe is the detective. He's been with us for quite a few years. I'm going to let him give you his bio, but he works really closely with the school resource officers.
Yep.
He does a lot of the threat assessment investigation, which is a very unique position that Sheriff Campbell brought to us a few years ago, and he's expanded upon it, not because I'd say there's more threats, as he expanded upon it and added an extra officer, because we had Detective Heather Little,
Yes.
now you, just because of the opportunities to move threat assessment into the schools, into the businesses, into the homes. I mean, there's site security surveys. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. If you guys want to get out a pen and paper, some notes, take some notes. If not, we're going to give you Shawn's information, and you can call him, and he'll give you an update and even maybe come to your home and talk about some of that stuff. So let's talk about you, bud.
All right.
Where are you from? What brought you here? Why'd you want to be an officer?
Ooh.
That's what we always get asked, right?
Yeah.
You're in schools all the time.
Yeah.
Why'd you want to be an officer?
Why'd you want to be in law enforcement?
Yeah. Are you from here?
I'm not from here. I'm originally from South Florida. I moved here when I got out of the military in 2008.
Thank you for your service. What did you do?
I was in the Navy on a mobile security team.
Wow.
I got out of the Navy in 2009, and then spent some time doing security work, installing security systems, camera systems. Traveled all over the country doing that for several years.
Now, I don't know if I recalled that. That really leads you into the expertise you're in.
I think that's why I got this job.
I thought you were
interviewed with
just
the sheriff.
smart and just like a whiz when it comes to this stuff. But no, you actually got
it
some
for a long
expert
time.
professional training. Okay. We'll talk more about your training law enforcement-wise, too. But keep going. Tell us about your career, law enforcement.
So I did that in late 2019, early 2020. I decided to go a different direction. Went to BLET at Mitchell Community College.
Great.
Was immediately hired here by our great sheriff. And
Well, he sees when he sees talent. I wish I could. I never get his saying right. What is it? When prime ribs on sale, you buy it.
You call me prime rib?
That's the good thing, because like instead of buying the ground beef, because it's always on sale, you don't take the low hanging. Oh, you don't take the low hanging fruit. That can be mine because I'm short.
Right.
If you can reach stuff up top, but yeah, go ahead.
So, started here, worked on the road for 2.5 years, almost 3 years or so. And for the last, I guess, 2 years this month, I've been doing threat assessment.
So your official title went from deputy to detective.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And so you didn't work in detention. You didn't do any of that.
I
You were on
started
patrol.
right on the road and worked with the 60s. Did permanent night shift for a while.
Oh, wow.
And then came over here.
What, did you work a particular area in the county, or do you have a favorite area?
Favorite area? I really liked when I was in the Southeast.
Yes.
That was my
Yeah, that's
that was
some
my
of the
favorite
country
place
over
to
there.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some of the country. That's nice. Not the country like up in the north.
No, just different.
Yeah, yeah. It's the country part of Mooresville. You can see a few farms out there. You know, get off the Highway 3 and back out towards China Grove, Salisbury, that way. Yeah. All right, so patrol, you did some time there, and you want to be a detective. Did you want to be a regular detective, property crime, special victims unit, or did this position just speak to you?
This position kind of spoke to me with my background, and then nobody wants to deal with an active shooter.
Right.
So
Yes. I didn't even mention that. You're exactly right.
With the threat assessment stuff, that's our number one goal.
Okay.
Is to prevent that. And if I can prevent that, that's kind of...
So define your position, or do you have I know it's broad and wide and range, and it continues to expand with more... I get you into more stuff. Yeah, I had you come down and help teach school resource officer the other day at Mitchell College, but that was a very important part for you to have in there. So that's good that you had that. But go ahead, tell us, define threat assessment investigator.
Threat assessment investigator. So whenever we get a tip of usually kind of communicating some kind of threat of mass violence, we investigate it. We fully investigate it. Determine if it's a credible threat, if it's not a credible threat, charge accordingly.
Bomb threats. I'm going to blow up the business or the school. I'm going to shoot up the place or bring a gun to school or something like that.
Stuff like that.
All right.
We determine if it's kind of credible at all.
Right.
If there's any kind of mental health, and then we help direct, I guess.
So when you say credible, I know that you get all the reports. So, and I know you do a lot of extra reporting, more case notes, more stuff. So everything is reported, even if it's a disgruntled employee getting fired, or, the kid getting an F from the teacher. Everything is documented and reported. And then you determine, in working with your team, and I guess with there's a threat assessment team talking about
at all the schools.
Yes.
Yeah, all the schools have a threat assessment team now. That's part of state law, and we work directly with them to determine kind of what's going on.
So, what other needs that they might need? You mentioned mental health. So, a lot of these kids may have behavioral plans or mental health plans, or some type of exceptional learning capability that they're not able to understand what they say when they're angry, but you would still continue with the report and the crime, because the crime's been committed. If something's been said, it's been said. And then you would determine the best course of action, and you work with juvenile services on that.
Juvenile services. We work with the school system. Make sure those kids get the help that they need. Right.
Yep. And there's all ages. I mean, I know that, we like to think of our elementary school kids don't say things, but, they see something, they say something. They see things on TV, they get angry, and sometimes they don't have a way of dealing with it.
Right.
And so part of that education that you have is how to spot that, how to talk about that. But either way, there is a document, it's reported, and there's a trail, so to speak, if they take the wrong turn later on in life. So we've got 5 seconds to go. Guys, tune in. Like I said, grab a notepad. When we come back, we're going to talk about some specifics for how to make your home, business, church safer. right, welcome back, folks. We had a quick set change. If you will go back in time 2 minutes ago, freeze frame your picture, come back and see. I think we shortened the desk about 3 inches.
Yep, something like that.
Actually, we lifted the chairs 3 inches.
Yep.
No, Joe really took care of us. We got chairs back here now that are comfortable. It feels a lot better to be at the desk, and we've come a long way since we were back there in the corner in those tall bar chairs. But feel like we're coming to you comfortably now, folks. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning back in. We have Detective Shawn Rowe, and I'm Captain Matt Burleyson. We're going to talk about the specifics in. So I want to say SEPTED is the big catchphrase now, and tell the folks what's.
So SEPTED is one part.
Oh, really?
Of physical security.
Okay,
now.
all right. So let me just throw this bone out there. You've done this job for 2 years.
Yeah.
Training never stops.
Correct.
So there's always this, lights, locks, and alarms that can be updated, increased, especially now with talking about your expertise in the cameras. But you went to a very elite training facility. That's the FLETC, which is the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia. So that wasn't far back at all. You were there with Department of Homeland Security. So tell us about that training.
So I went over and took a class with FLETC. A couple Homeland Security guys that were teaching it. It was all about physical security, how to increase, pretty much target harden.
Right.
Make your building, your church, your school, any place of worship, or even just your home more secure.
Okay.
So that was a big day. We spent 5 days there. We went to 3 different locations while we were there.
You actually went and did site assessments?
Yeah, full site assessments. We did a high school and 2 churches.
Okay. Folks from all over the country there?
Southeast.
Southeast, okay. Is there another federal law enforcement training center?
There's a bunch of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, I've been to Glencoe. I had my great training down there a while back, the gang resistance training. So, but this is great too.
This is great too, yeah.
So,
I really enjoyed the class. It was great.
Right. And that was one of the reasons I had you come to the school resource officer training. And I know this summer when our school resource officers here from the sheriff's office do a lot of their in-service training, I'm sure you'll work with them on site surveys at their schools and that type of stuff. And you do a lot of that now. So I guess before getting into some of the nuts and bolts of this, that I brought up a great point that I want to remind the viewers and you'd explain. You had said during the active shooter drills at the schools. I know right now they're doing security alert drills. Are you assisting with some of those?
When I can.
Okay.
With Detective Little being out, I'm a little busier than normal. But
so folks, Shawn is a detective, just like I'm still a deputy, but I'm a captain. Just like guys that are on special teams, they still do the regular work.
Yep.
What got you here? So, as a threat assessment investigator, if you don't have a threat to assess, then you have detective work to do, which is detective work. But but you're picking up cases. You're on call.
Yep, I'm on call.
You get calls of shootings and breaking and enterings and murders and attempted murders. So.
Yeah, I was just on call a couple weeks ago. It was a busy week.
Right. Yeah. So that was a big case, and you're still working that. So
yes, sir.
That's in and above all this stuff you got to do here. So thank you for your service on that. I know. Yeah, you help out a lot with that. So when you have time, you do the security alert drills. Tell us what that is, and then tell us that you go to all the active shooter drills.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely go to all the active shooter drills.
Okay.
Or all the lockdown drills.
Tell the viewers what we talk about with that. So
when the schools do a lockdown drill, we go and they run through a whole lockdown. We check to make sure every teacher knows how to lock their door, that all the doors are locking appropriately. We work with the admin and the school system just to make sure that they can efficiently lock down their schools and protect the kids.
Right. And you said, I heard you just throw that word in there, efficiently. There's always going to be kinks and ripples, and sometimes we put those in there. We try to make it where what would you do if it's during the cafeteria, during lunchtime, where are you going to go? It's during playground time, where are you going to go? The principal comes overhead, says it's okay to come back in, that kind of stuff. But for several years now, the training that you guys have worked with in the school system alongside those, you've kind of, you've got these students now to where whatever we throw at them, they're not going to throw anything at them that they're not going to get.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We had, I think, one classroom at elementary school, there was a student that let the sub know how to lock the doors, the childproof or the rhino locks, rhino ware.
We had a class lock a teacher out.
But that's what they've been told. I mean, not in a manner as it let's lock everybody out.
No.
But when we know that's a drill, and we don't do drills whenever there's some type of real life scenario going on in the community. We try to limit that.
We always postpone those.
Yeah, we don't want to have anybody. But you understand, you practice the way you play. So we want them to, and you're a coach, so you make your players practice just like they're ready for the game.
Oh, my players practice harder than the game.
Speaking of players and practicing, volleyball. Did you get signed up to coach?
No. I coach soccer. I coach baseball.
Volleyball is really
wrestling.
fun, I hear.
Yeah.
6 people each side. You don't have to run up and down the thing. Okay.
Don't know nothing about that one.
We can help you with that. We can help you. I need to get into that later. Volleyball. Check that. I'll come back to it. But we're really proud of the school system doing a couple of active shooter drills a year, even some tabletop exercises.
Yep.
I know that back...
Did a big training a few months ago.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. Phone ringing. You knew where I was stuttering with that. We did an active shooter live scenario.
At Lake Norman.
School was out. We used the teachers in our largest facility in the district, Lake Norman High School.
Yep.
And CERT team was there, all the school resource officers, because they were out of school. It was teacher work day. All 30 of those guys and gals were there. And we did a lot of valuable training. And that's good hands-on training, but you can't do that when the kids are there.
No.
When the kids are there, we're gonna have them practicing where to go in the classroom, and how to make the doors sure the doors are locked, staying quiet, and we open the door. Mm-hmm. It's a law enforcement officer that opens the door. So when they come through the door, hey guys, good job. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay in your seats. Go back to instruction. All that stuff. So we get them right back to teaching as quick as can. But it's valuable. It's valuable training. And I know it would sound bad for the firemen to say, but how many fire alarm fire drills do we do a year?
One a month, I think.
One a month. Yeah, must get that fire drill in every single month. And when was the last?
A long time ago.
1951, I believe, is somewhere thereabouts, was the last fire in a school.
I got that stat somewhere in this
You have
book.
that? I really need to find that, because I use that as a talking point, and I know the sheriff does. He knows it. I've heard him say it. But yeah, and we don't even want to say when the last school shooting was, but we're probably not talking about days, more like hours.
We had one last week in Tennessee, I believe.
Right, maybe 2 last, So anyway, practice the active shooters. You get those cases, threat assessment investigations with those students, trying to identify how they can be helped, whether it be mental health or whatever it may be. But then you mentioned a whole different aspect. This class here did physical security, so that's our outdoors. But you mentioned places of worship, businesses. So give us an introduction into that, and then our next segment, we're going to dive deeper into those things and how they can get you out to their sites.
So physical security assessments, we walk around the schools or the buildings or the office, the businesses,
Right.
and just talk about things that they can do to increase their security. So we look at vulnerabilities, door locks, camera systems, windows. We can talk about your options on windows of all the different options you have to protect your windows. One of the biggest things here recently in recent history now is vehicles as weapons.
Right.
So we talk about things you can do to stop a vehicle from being ran into your building.
So I've got to mention that. So in my mind, as you're talking, I'm thinking, could you see my wheels turning? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking as you're talking, and I was thinking about, you pull up to the house and there's bushes growing everywhere. The mulch is moldy. The doors half open. The screen doors half open. The screens are tore off. In community policing, we should call that the broken windows theory.
Yep.
Right. So if that place is not cleaned up, it's just going to keep looking worse and worse. And a criminal comes to that and they see that and they're thinking that's easy target, right? Nobody cares about it. I can break in, do what I want to, stay there, squat, steal the copper, whatever they need to do, all in there. But that home that is better manicured, windows are open, bright, you can see through. Doors have, I wouldn't say bars on the windows, but you've seen these security doors that are a nice decorative door that's wrought iron. Mm-hmm. So, but out in front of businesses now, have you noticed these giant planters?
Big planters, big
on
rocks.
sidewalks downtown. Big, huge planters. Big Target has a big red ball.
Yep.
If you didn't see those, I know you've seen all the yellow poles that look like plastic. Well, they are plastic.
Filled with concrete.
They're inside. Yeah, the plastic slides up, and inside it there's concrete.
Yep.
So those are specifically. It's not to keep you from parking there. It's to keep you from driving through. Yep. Okay. All right. So those stop cars where there's things that stop bullets, that stops cars.
That'll stop a car.
Well, I just threw away a big flower pot that I got mad at it because I picked it up to dump the dead flower out, and I thought it was plastic, and it was that clay. So
You broke it.
I did. Oh, I did. She's very upset with me now, needless to say. And I said, let's get plastic. And so we went downtown, Mooresville. I said, hey, look, I think those are plastic. She goes, they're not. They're clay. So big flower pots, I guess if you see those in front of houses now, I put them there, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be back. We've got a few more seconds left. The next segment, whenever we come back, we're going to talk about the churches, the programs that you teach, active shooter training, church shield. What else? There's de-escalation. There's a few things you do. So We'll talk about those when we come back, and how much it costs you to get him to come. Yeah, how much is your fee now?
Nothing.
It's free. All right, guys, tune back in. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. Thank you. right, welcome back, folks. We are live here in the wonderful Purple Heart Home Studio, and we are with my good friend, Detective Shawn Rowe. Yes. So Shawn's, we've done quite a few trainings together. Excuse me. I've not trained with you, but I've assisted you in training others.
Yes.
We didn't go I didn't go to FLETC with you.
No.
And I didn't go learn nothing with you, but we go learn some people some stuff. We go teach others. One of the most recent ones we were at was a church in Mooresville. There was a church, Shield, and I got to come in there at the very end and, just take your applause.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I had to be at my own church, so that's how that happened. But tell us about some of the classes that you offer that you can come out and do.
So
that.
We do Church Shield. And all these programs and classes are completely free. We do Church Shield, which just helps you set up church safety teams. We can do that to churches that are tiny, that are huge. It doesn't matter.
Right. We've went in with the pastor or just the deacons or, the ladies that count the offering.
Yeah, we did one with an entire congregation
Yes.
a few months ago.
Yes.
That was a little...
Did you do that on a Sunday?
it was a Wednesday night.
Oh, okay. That's a bad... Yeah. I've done them on a Sunday morning before.
Yeah.
And you were standing up there at the pulpit like, thank you, folks. I'm not preaching today, but I got a message to bring you.
So we also do active shooter training. We can do to communities. We can do to businesses. And we kind of cater that to...
So the active shooter training has been... Yeah, I was going to say, it's
your business.
been pretty unique in that we've gone so far as to... and I hope the viewers don't say, come shoot up my school, or shoot up my business, my building. But we have taken blanks before inside of a warehouse, popped it off so that they would hear the sound, what it would be like. Because
I have not been a part of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did that. Because it's basically a pop. It's a firecracker. It's a pop. It can be a pallet falling over and hitting the concrete. That could be the sound that you think you hear. But when you hear those in succession, then that's when we teach people, see something, say something. If you hear something like that, call 911. Everybody calls. Yep. Don't think someone else is going to call just because, I don't want to get involved or whatever. Right. And then you go with the businesses and you look around, even those factory settings, where can we go to lock down? Where can we get into a safe place?
How can we evacuate?
Exactly right. Yep. So one of the things that's unique too, that you said, you caught yourself when you were saying church, everyone thinks security, but church safety team. So these safety teams, even at the business, there's a unique caveat of responsibilities they have. What are some of the other things that you might have, some of the other members on your safety team?
On your church safety team, you really want some kind of medically trained people, EMTs, nurses, things like that. Everybody talks about wanting to prepare for an active shooter, but chances of that happening are a lot slimmer than somebody falling and getting hurt and breaking an arm. Or,
where's the
attack at church.
Yeah, where's the wheelchair at? Where's the IED? Some people have never even been through the
AED.
I said I wasn't going to do. I'm sorry. Yes. Where is the automatic external defibrillator?
That's it.
Yes. Where's the medical supply kit? The first aid kit, the go bag. What does the team have at their fingertips to be able to respond? Whether it's a mass casualty shooting incident and they've got tourniquets. I saw a church one time that had it on the wall. There was a set of 20 tourniquets, and it was a mass casualty incident. We're prepared for that. And one of ours in our county here, and it was actually, they've got a couple of troopers and retired law enforcement officers.
Yeah.
So, but how can you get involved with your church safety team? You don't have to be gun-toting, ready to take the bad guy out. You can be part of that team that's a quick reaction force, so to speak, for when grandma falls down in the aisle. Yeah. Or when little kids are running and they bust their nose, break an arm. All that stuff can happen. And who's going to call 911? How they're going to do that? Is there in the classrooms? Do the classroom teachers know what to do in the Sunday school?
We talk to them too. They usually get brought into those safety meetings. We want the children ministry people and the security and safety team members to be on the same team.
Is there written guidelines? Is there an evacuation route for the fire alarms at your facilities, at your church facilities.
We definitely help with making emergency plans.
Right. Yep. So one of the disclaimers that you talked about at this Homeland Security class was, we are here to render assistance,
Yep.
expertise, and in the professional world, they like to call it best practices.
Best practices.
Yes.
That's
What's
right.
the best practices that we do? So that's a disclaimer. If we tell you to do this and still something happens, we're just trying to help you make it better. So there's a lot of things that we can do to make things better.
My favorite saying in the church field class is the slide where it says, "This is not legal advice."
Yes. Yes, exactly. So talk about some of those things, or talk about what we can do, because I know you, not just the churches or the businesses, but my house, my home. Somebody wants their home looked at. You could come out and talk to them.
Absolutely. We can do site assessments on your home.
Okay.
Come out and talk to how you can increase just the little things you can do to increase security, to stop a break-in,
Right.
or buy time in a break-in. That's the biggest thing, because you can't always stop them, but you can buy time to get help.
Well, what are some things? So if I told them a while ago to get their notepads out,
Get their pay that.
because fast fire a few things out there they can do to make their homes target hardened.
Quality door locks,
Okay.
external lighting,
Okay.
cleaned up bushes and landscaping.
You said something about the windows earlier. There's ways to make the windows better. Or you
Yeah,
can
so
secure-
there's films you can add to the windows to add, make them
bullet resistant or shatterproof.
shatter resistant.
Shatter resistant.
Shatter resistant. There's you can make your windows bulletproof with films.
Right.
Or
Do they
bullet
put
resistant.
the one-way? Is there a one-way film that they put on those, like where you can't see in?
Oh
but
yeah,
you
there's
see
all
out?
different kinds of tints and stuff you can do.
Something as simple as your screens on your windows, and I got in trouble for this at my house, but the screens get a little dirty, and if you take them off, wow, it is so you can see everything outside.
Oh yeah.
But it's flip that around.
At nighttime.
Yes, it's nighttime. You got your lights on inside. Everybody outside can see in. So pull your drapes, blinds, whatever at night. I like to tell people keep them open during the day, because you are your eyes and ears in your neighborhood.
Yep.
You're watching out and you're reporting to law enforcement, what's going on there. But yeah, something as simple as your screens and those type things, checking those out. So
And lights, like just lighting up your yard and the area around your house. No, criminals don't like to be seen. So.
yes, the new LED lighting. I'm a user or an abuser, I guess, of that. I've got probably 10 floodlights on my house, 55,000 K. One switch turns all 10 bulbs on.
Yeah, and the big push in physical security right now is moving away from motion lights,
Okay.
right, to just a constant light, especially with LED costs coming
Right.
down and power costs with LEDs.
Well, I mean, and it's astronomical. It's so much different. I mean, it's like from $9 a month to 90 cents a month, basically, to run an LED bulb or a street light.
Yep.
Because you used to get your $16 a month charge for your street light, and now it's they still charge you for that because it's a more expensive light to put up.
Right.
So it's still balancing out the same. But put up your own LED lights, and and you can even get them now that use minimum amount of power that run off a solar panel. So you got your sheds and your barns and places like that, your chicken houses, those things. You can put that solar panel out there. It gathers light, and then it sheds light at night.
And lock up your sheds, lock up your garages, lock up your buildings.
Are you really telling our viewers that they need to lock their stuff up?
Yeah.
Well, where I would come from, we
Keeping
didn't do that.
Keeping honest people honest.
When I grew up, we went to bed with the front door wide open. Folks, I'm making a very facetious remark because this is some of the stuff that we've heard before. And what did you just say? Keep locks, keep
honest people honest.
honest people honest. And it's a deterrent. Nothing. I heard people say, I drive a Jeep. They're going to cut my top if you want in it. Yeah, but it's going to slow them down a little bit if you got the doors locked. So, keeping valuables in your cars, guns, those type things.
Please don't leave your guns in your car overnight.
Right, exactly.
I gotta say that.
Yeah, good. I mean, you need that anyway. That's there for your protection. You
Yep.
want it with you in the home. But leaving those out there, it's going to get out into the wrong hands.
Yep.
They're going to get it. So, We've got 30 seconds until our next break. During our last segment, we'll talk about some of the things going on in our community. Remember, I'm on Facebook. It's only Sissy Deleted that said, howdy, Matt and Shawn. So any questions you got, any comments you make, if Shawn needs to flip his hair over a little bit, however, you can tell us that. So, and we'll be right back here in just about 2 minutes. All right, thank you for welcoming us back there, Joe, with your thumbs up. The music's playing, I was just wishing from Shawn. This is that Alfred Hitchcock kind of mystery, Pink Panther-esque type. I don't get that. It's for old people. But thank you for playing that. Bill likes it. The last segment here, guys, I told you we was going to talk about a few of our press releases, but obviously if you're on Facebook, you see those. We will hit those pretty quick. But one of the things during break that you mentioned that was very important, as far as your physical security, what if someone gets your stuff?
So the big thing you can do is document all your valuables.
Right.
Write down serial numbers, take pictures of things. It makes it a lot easier for us to find it. Mm-hmm. If we have a serial number, we can prove it's yours.
Right. So, little Johnny gets a nice bike for Christmas. Well, how many bikes, how many green Huffies were sold at Christmas at Walmart?
Probably a bunch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so when he reports his bike to us stolen, or mom and dad reports it, I mean, it's a reportable offense. It's a stolen bike. They don't give us a serial number. It's there on every bike. It's underneath their little pedal. I tell kids about that. When we find a bike out there, we can't even get it back to them because we don't know it's theirs.
Right.
So serial numbers are important. owner applied numbers.
Yep, you can do that too.
So owner applied numbers is whatever number you want to put on it. This is like your phone passcode, I guess. I recommend using your driver's license number. There's no financial data applied to that. You can't get a credit card with it.
Nope.
I mean, I guess you could run a driver's history maybe on the right website, but that's all you can do with that. So on my nice Honda pressure washer, I have 8562709 scratched on the gas tank, and it's NC.
Yep.
So if a law enforcement officer in Washington State sees that, then he's going to run it and come back with my address. And I even think I'm smarter than the criminals because, if they scratch that out, I've got another one somewhere else.
Nice.
Kind of like they do on cars. They put serial numbers all over cars.
All over.
And you mentioned taking pictures. Well, where do your pictures save at?
I save my pictures on a flash drive and I store it. Actually, one at the sheriff's office.
Ah,
Pretty secure.
that's a secure place right there.
Pretty
Exactly.
secure.
Yep. So.
But it's on a thumb drive.
Well, and there's a cloud too, right? Everybody has a cloud or a drive or something that when you take a picture, it uploads. I'll go a step further, folks, and you may never thought about this before. These photos, we flip through them, we look through them, but how do we see life every day? In video, right? Mm-hmm. In 4K, and if you got the right glasses.
Yeah.
So take a video of everything in your home. Walk into your kitchen and open drawers and open cabinets, because what if there's a fire? Total loss. Everything's burnt. Insurance companies will replace your china, but you need to describe it to them and how many number of pieces you have. Do you know how many teacups you've got in your china cabinet now?
0.
Yeah. And you have a daughter, right?
Yep.
You should have some kind of teacup set. Okay. Well, she's got a soccer ball.
Right. And boxing gloves.
Oh my gosh. So think about that, folks. That not only could it be any type of theft, but a total loss. I mean, those folks in the West, and we still pray for those folks, and some of them have a few things that they need, but most of them have nothing. And so when all that was lost, they could have, if they had a cloud video of, what was in their garage, the tools that were lost, everything that's gone, that's burned up in a fire. It's pretty good to be able to get that stuff back. So, all right. A first press release, we did want to give the update. It was updated an hour or so ago. The missing juvenile, Peyton Revis, from the northern part of the county up in Harmony. She has been located. She is safe and she's fine. So we're really happy. The power of social media, guys. This went far and wide. I think there was over 4,000 shares just on our post alone. And I know there were some other pictures and posts and family members and friends and other missing sites and those type things. So if you have a missing family member, report that to us. And we'll investigations and social media. We do what we do, try to make sure that they're returned safely. You got some trees you need cut down. There's a guy we've got in our jail now that's not available for that.
I would not call him.
Don't call him, okay? So call comes into the sheriff's office, Amity Hill Road. There's a man cutting trees down, blocking the roadway. They're not his trees to cut, and he's already sold some of these trees. And he's made some money off of them.
Yep.
So we got a couple of felony offenses and crimes here. Felony larceny, because trees are expensive. I don't know where you can buy one of those big ones at. And misdemeanor injury to trees, crops, or land. And guys, I know you think that sounds funny. Injury to trees, crops, and land. Well, if your business is trees, crops, and land, and four-wheelers are spinning them up, then we got a charge for that now. We damage to crop. And it doesn't take much to get a felony charge of over $1,000 or $500, right, for damage to crops. It doesn't take much of that. So, do you know much about this case? Yeah.
I know a little bit about this one. So I know he's got a long history.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you did mention you knew him about his history. So we'll just skip right to that. Misdemeanor allowing livestock to run at large, counts of misdemeanor domestic violence protective order, felony breaking and entering, felony larceny or firearm, felony alter, destroy motor vehicle parts, resisting officer. Yep. Felony possession of phone by an inmate. He can't even get this act right in jail.
Nope.
So anyway, Jonathan Ray Lohman, 39 years old. We made you famous. All right. This traffic stop, this was the ACE team. This was Deputy Sharp, the area of Doubletree Drive. Troy Carl Workshire, 56 years old, was stopped and found with fentanyl. The traffic violation was on Bethlehem Road. He lives on Doubletree Drive. So this was 2.23 grams of fentanyl, and we know how strong that is. So there's any of that goes off, that's like 100 times stronger. The heating and air, yes.
Yep.
This was over the night.
On Jennings Road.
Yeah, okay. Matter of fact, I got this one the next day after we had gotten them, and I made sure, or the sheriff made sure that the report was put out, because we had a person with a camera, the video of this business, Jennings Jennings Road, Evergreen Heating and Air, active larceny in progress. The folks were there stealing the copper, stealing
HVAC parts. I think.
HVAC parts. And so did you work any of that or know much about it?
I didn't work that, but I do know that Sergeant Hodges and his K-9 Levi tracked them and found them.
So they get there, they've got their old pickup truck, and they take off in flight.
Yes.
And they don't fly far.
No, not far.
They're not far at all. Stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the mud.
But we happen to have a lab for that. Some people have an app for that. We have a lab for that. Levi, I guess what lab's good, they go well in the mud. So they was able to find those guys, guy and gal. So did you read those names out, who those were?
Larry Edward Moore and Ashley Jane Hubble.
Yep. Harmony Highway, East Memorial Road.
East Memorial and Harmony Highway, that's right.
Okay. And again, thank you for that. If you have those active cameras, if you don't have an alarm system, security company that's actively, observing those, you call us. You don't have to wait for the security company to call us. You call us. You give us that information in real time. We get it out to the deputies. We respond. This is what these professionals get paid to do. That's what that dog is on the ground for, literally. So let them do it. Don't approach people. Don't try to go citizens arrest, subdue them, hold them at gunpoint, any of that stuff. Yeah. Call us. We really like to handle this stuff. And then we like to make them famous on Facebook. All right. Felony trafficking methamphetamine, felony possession methamphetamine, maintain a vehicle for controlled substance, drug paraphernalia. This was a search warrant, I believe. Yes, a search warrant done by our narcotics division with the help of the ACE team.
Yes. The
uniform division, the aggressive criminal enforcement team. They go in, execute the search warrant at 514 Concord Avenue in Statesville. Michael Lee Pettit, 56. Michael Kevin Vanam, 59. Ashley Nicole Woodhull, 40. This come from a tip. Citizens in the area notice suspicious activity. Again, we were talking about neighborhoods. You're the eyes and ears of your neighborhoods. You know who belongs there. Yep. You know who's suspicious coming around. What's the old saying? If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, what is it?
It's a duck.
There you go. So if it looks like there's drug activity going on, if you want to send us submit a tip on our app, that's free to do. It's anonymous. We can get that information out. If you want to give us a call. I mean, we're taking information. If you stop a deputy, see one somewhere, we've got those cool black cards that sheriff provides us with. Then you can get a hold of us, and we'll make sure that says that. So Sheriff Campbell's statement: when citizens step forward with information, they play a crucial role in keeping their community safer. We appreciate those who report their concerns and encourage others to do the same. If you suspect illegal activity, you can quickly and anonymously submit a tip through the Iredell County Sheriff's Office mobile app or contact the office directly. So thank you very much for that. And volleyball. Thank you for helping me remember that. If you've heard us talk about the registrations for our events, whether it's your church shield, your active shooter, what's the cap that can come to an active shooter class?
I've never had a cap.
I've never had a cap either. The sheriff will say, "We will if you feed them, we will come." Right. Yeah. So if you want to come to the class, we will accommodate you. So we got plenty of room. We're over 300. I know now. We're over 300 registrations. I get all the emails. Thank goodness for Dara. She was here the other week talking about it. Without her keeping it straight, I wouldn't know what to do. So This is a great opportunity. Any child, ages 9 to 15, come out, play volleyball, have a good time on Saturdays. The dates are set. We'll put you with a coach and a team. And what does it cost them to play, Shawn?
Free.
Free. Actually, it costs the drug dealers of Iredell County because we take their money and we use it for good purposes. So, drug dealers, come turn yourself in. We're going to catch you and spend your money. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you being here. And thank you, Shawn, for being here.
Thanks, Matt.